Welcome to the Explainer. So today we're doing something a little bit different. We are pulling right back on the curtain to look at the stagecraft of our civic life. We're going to dive into some absolutely fascinating academic research to try and figure out exactly how modern politics became, well, a meticulously manufactured stage.
And let's kick things off with a question that I am almost positive has crossed your mind recently. Why do our elections feel so much like reality television? Seriously, think about it. Today, we're going to explore the actual sociological mechanics that slowly but very surely turned civic leadership into pure entertainment.
Here's our roadmap for the breakdown. First up, welcome to celebrity society. Then we'll hit the anatomy of fame, how to hack attention, the pro wrestling blueprint, and finally, the rise of the celebrity.
All right, part one, welcome to celebrity society.
Now, the crucial thing to understand right out of the gate is that this blurring of entertainment and politics, it is definitely not an accident. It's a structural process that's been building up for decades. To really ground our analysis today, we're relying on a fantastic academic text. It's called Chapter 1, Celebrity Society, by Richard T. Longoria from the University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley.
The whole core of Longoria's work rests on this one concept called celebritification. Think of it kind of like a pipeline. It's this systemic process where the power of celebrity is slowly moved away from popular entertainment and injected directly into traditionally serious fields like politics. And because of mass media, these two worlds, which used to be totally distinct, have completely intermeshed their values.
Moving right along to part two, the anatomy of fame. Okay, so how exactly does someone actually get famous in a world like this? Well, the sociologist Daniel Borstein draws a pretty stark contrast that helps clear this up. In the past, we had heroes. A hero was someone distinguished by massive, real-world achievement. But today, the whole machinery of mass media has completely substituted the hero with the celebrity. As Borstein so perfectly put it, a celebrity is simply someone who is known for their well-knownness. That's it. Their primary talent is just attracting attention.
And how exactly do they attract all that attention? Through what Borstein calls a pseudo-event. Now, these are purely manufactured happenings. They are not spontaneous at all. They are choreographed from the ground up entirely to create a spectacle for the media to consume. When you watch a highly produced, massive campaign rally, you aren't just watching a speech, you are looking at a pseudo-event. It's literally stagecraft substituting for reality.
Which brings us to part three, how to hack attention.
Because look, fame like that doesn't just happen by accident. There's essentially a three-step instruction manual that people use to hijack human attention. And those three tactical methods are 1. Good looks, 2. Crazy costumes, and 3. Fake fighting.
Let's unpack step one really quick. Good looks. This taps into a fascinating psychological phenomenon called the halo effect. Studies consistently show that we instinctively perceive attractive politicians to be more competent and more trustworthy simply because of how they look. I mean, it's an undeniable electoral advantage when your primary job is essentially capturing the public's eye.
And hey, if you think this is just some modern, shallow Hollywood invention, listen to founding father John Adams. He actually wrote that beauty and elegance are admired often more than wit or sense, specifically for the attention they command. Leveraging your appearance to draw in spectators is a fundamental political truth that has literally existed since the dawn of our republic.
But, what if you can't rely on natural good looks? Well, that brings us to step 2, crazy costumes. The research points to pop star Lady Gaga, who openly studies what she calls the sociology of fame. By wearing something totally eccentric, like remember her infamous meat dress, she is literally art directing her own fame. It's performance art, completely designed to force people to pay attention exactly where she wants them to. In this world, wardrobing is image management.
All right, part 4, the pro wrestling blueprint.
Because honestly, costumes only go so far. If you truly want to dominate the 24-hour media cycle, you need the ultimate template for modern campaigns, which is fake fighting. It all boils down to this legendary logic from the ultimate showman himself, P.T. Barnum. If you want to attract a crowd, start a fight. Public feuding and totally manufactured hostility force the media to report on you, and even better, it forces the audience to pick a side.
Just look at how this traces through history. Professional wrestling started way back in the early 1900s, with carnies staging fights just to sell tickets. By the 1950s, early TV promoters realized, wait a minute, fights are way more profitable if they manufacture heat.
A fabricated, dramatic backstory of hostility between the guys. And then by 1984, Vince McMahon essentially perfects the ultimate pseudo-event, crossing over into the mainstream by putting wrestling on MTV.
This created what we can call the wrestling playbook. It's basically a highly structured, masculine melodrama. You take that manufactured heat and you assign heavily exaggerated personas. The heel, the bad guy, versus the babyface, the good guy. You blur the lines between reality and performance so much that eventually the audience doesn't even care what's real anymore. They just want to see the wrong righted in the next big match.
And if you doubt for a second the absolute power of this blueprint, just look at this number. $500 million. That was the WWF's retail sales in 1998 alone. $500 million. This quote-unquote fake drama yields incredibly real financial and cultural influence. And believe me, political media consultants learned this playbook very, very well.
Which brings us to our finale, Part 5, Rise of the Celebrity.
When we take all these mechanics of stagecraft and apply them to our modern landscape, we get this crazy hybrid, the polar bready. This is a celebrity who is transformed into a politician, and because our whole society has been celebrified, these individuals possess what Longoria calls the power trifecta. They have the raw talent to grab attention, massive media-driven fame, and the sheer financial resources to mount a campaign. They don't just participate in the attention economy, they completely dominate it.
And listen, this phenomenon is absolutely not isolated to one side of the political aisle. The source material outlines a completely impartial roster of figures who utilize their manufactured renown to actually win office. From actors like Ronald Reagan, Clint Eastwood, and Arnold Schwarzenegger, to pro wrestler Jesse Ventura, comedian Al Franken, and of course reality TV star Donald Trump, they all successfully translated their performing skills directly into real-world civic leadership.
So what is the ultimate takeaway from all of this? Well, Richard T. Longoria states it perfectly. The fake and the real is not a binary choice. It is a continuum where things are more or less real and fake. We are living in a society where people have fully realized that highly skilled actors, people who just know how to put on a really, really great show, can actually become our real political leaders.
Which brings me to a final, pretty provocative question that I want you to carry with you today. The very next time you sit down to watch a political debate or a campaign rally on the news, ask yourself, as a society, do we actually prefer reality, or do we just want a really good show? Thank you so much for joining me on The Explainer today. Keep asking those big questions.